Datang lagi ke Stadium Spurs.
Tak tahu itu aku cakap dia.
A young man just found one of the men. Well, the Wonder Boys of White Hart Lane are or are not the team of the century. Can't possibly be more than a matter of opinion.
Got into it from there. Oh, cool, okay.
More recent.
That's okay, it doesn't matter. You want to gather around just here for just a moment, guys? Nice small group. Good. So, welcome again. I was going to tell you a little bit about this area, a little bit about the design of the stadium, and just a tiny bit about the history of the club, how we came to be here in the first place. Is my English okay for you guys? You understand it? Yeah. It's kind of a London accent. I'm doing my best. Okay, so this area is called the West Atrium. So this is the main entrance to the stadium. And Tottenham is the only Premier League team that has its stadium right on the main road of the area where it's based. This is Tottenham High Road, right here. There were a few interesting things in this area. So this video screen, which runs from here all the way to that very far end, is the largest indoor video screen in Europe. Hooray! Right here, set in the floor, the circle in the floor is, you can have a look in a moment, excuse me, is a time capsule. So you probably know the stadium was opened in 2019. Just before it was open, the club invited players, first team players, youth players, other members of staff, directors to all write down what they wanted Tottenham to achieve in the next 50 years, and that's been sealed in a time capsule, not to be opened by me. I don't think maybe this young man will come back in 47 years and open that. But one of the things at the top of the list was finish above Arsenal every season, and so far that's working out quite good. So far so good. Behind you you've got just a small selection of the club's trophies. Not all of the club's trophies, right? Just a small selection. So, for example, there are 2 FA Cups there, but Tottenham's won the FA Cup 8 times. I'd like to point out this cabinet here behind this young lady. So, on the right is something called the European Cup Winners' Cup. That's a competition that isn't played for now. But this gentleman here will remember 1963, Spurs won that trophy. They beat Atletico Madrid 5-1 in a stadium called the Kite, which is Feyenoord Stadium in Rotterdam, in Holland, and became the first British team to win a European competition. So that's an important trophy. You can have a look at all the trophies in a second. So just a little bit about the design of the stadium. Right? So my credentials are that I've only missed 10 home games since 1975. Right? That's a lot of Tottenham games. Again, I go to every away game. I'm going to Manchester on Saturday. I'm going to Lisbon next Wednesday. Blah blah blah. I never know whether people were impressed or whether they feel sorry for me. No, I wanted to. Bit too expensive, that one. But we've got 3 trips. We've got Frankfurt, Lisbon, and Marseille coming up in the next 2 months. Now, and I loved our old stadium. Our old stadium was on this side. It was fantastic. Had a lot of history and memories. But when I first saw this stadium, I thought, well, if we're going to have a new stadium, I think this is the best football stadium in the world. It couldn't be any better than this. And there are two things about this one that I really like, personally really like. So first of all, this design at the front with all the glass is a deliberate part of the design. So this area of London is an area that's had a lot of difficulty. We had some riots here not so long ago. Some parts of this area are quite poor, and it was really important that when the club built a new stadium, they stayed exactly in this area. And the glass is an important part of the design to make the club feel more connected to local people and more connected to the local community, which I, as a local person, I think is really important. And also, I'd like to mention to people, so this quality that you see on the tour of everything, it's not just in the expensive part of the stadium, it's this quality in every single part of the stadium, which certainly in British football stadiums is unheard of. It's the quality for everyone, that whatever you pay for your ticket is fantastic this stadium, which is what I want when I come with my wife and my kids. I want to be somewhere nice to watch football. So, just a tiny bit about how Spurs came to be here in the first place. It's actually a good day to do it because it's exactly 140 years ago today, 1882, that a group of schoolboys, about the same age as this young man here, they had a cricket team. I know cricket's big in Michigan, right? No, not really. Not really. They had a cricket team. Cricket is a summer sport, and they wanted to figure out what to do in the winter. So on this day in 1882, they had a meeting under a light in this road, in Tottenham High Road, under a gas light, about maybe 200 metres from where we're standing. And they had a discussion, what should we do? Should we start a rugby team or maybe a football team? And fortunately for us, they decided on football. Because, I mean, really, 140 years of rugby, no one wants that, right?
Yeah.
A bit tedious. But they chose football, and that became Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. First of all, they played on a sort of an open area of green space called Tottenham Marshes, which is about 10 minutes walk from here. And then they moved to another little enclosure, a couple of minutes walk that way. And then just before the end of the 1800s, they came here and started to create what became the original White Hart Lane Stadium. But the bit about that story, I think, is the coolest bit, the best bit about it. So 1882, there's a group of schoolboys with a ball playing football in a park. 19 years later, 1901, that team won the FA Cup, and you can see the trophy here. And they played against Sheffield United. There were two games actually, but the first game was played in front of 110,000 people, which at the time was a world record for a football match. So it's quite an amazing journey in 19 years to go from 13, 14, 15-year-old boys playing in the park and then winning this major football trophy in front of 110,000 people. It's kind of fun to imagine what those schoolboys would think if they walked up here now and saw this giant space.
Romawi.
When they're doing lots of strapping on the players. In football, it tends to be quite rare that they strap on injuries. And show the players that
So the first flight's like 2.5 hours.
Okay, cool. You got her studying abroad?
She's studying. She flew in, then her new flatmate said she was going to have dinner with me. And they said, hey, there's a drinks party upstairs. You want to come? Yeah. Well, he's cool, though. Let's go.